Hey, what is going on, y'all? What is happening? Is it me? I look a little greasy today. We got like some sort of filter on. What's happening? What's happening? Wish you guys a very happy Tuesday. I want to welcome Jesse. Welcome, Jesse. This thing is definitely on, Lex. Much appreciated. I see you in the comments. Thank you very much. Dragoon. Welcome, Dragoon. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. And Juanita, we are definitely happy that you are here. Welcome. Have a very good show planned for you guys. Excited to bring you guys my guest, Coach D, somebody that you guys have requested, and somebody whose content I enjoy. So I know you guys will enjoy him as well. Don't forget to like the live and share it if you have an opportunity and you haven't already subscribed. Go ahead and subscribe. Shout out to you, Tina, as always. Shout out. I did put out a video earlier today about the North Carolina construction crew dump mob situation. I put that out earlier today, so you haven't already seen that, go ahead and check that out. It definitely gave me some flashbacks to the movies of my youth. I don't know what it was about the 80s. I feel like the 80s and the 90s, they love making an antebellum movie. They love making an antebellum movie in the 80s. And I grew up on those. I didn't know we could make different movies. I didn't even know. It wasn't until like Friday and Don't Be a Menace and Boomerang and that era of movies, I was like, I thought we had to make movies about the 1800s. I thought we had to make Jim Crow movies. I had no idea. Thank you. I appreciate it, Gene. Thank you very much. Now, I did record, and by the way, Boomerang was a classic. All those were classics. First of all those were like the same quality of movie. Y'all sleep. Everybody act like Friday. Friday was a masterpiece. Don't get me wrong. Friday was a masterpiece. Don't Be a Menace was too. Unpopular opinion. Don't Be a Menace was as good as Friday to me. And I believe Boomerang was as good as both of them. Y'all hash that out. I recorded a new video ending. So be on the Esther Roll was in the movie. Shout out to you, Ainsworth and Independence. I recorded a new video ending that I used today for the first time. And one of the things I said in that, this weekend I sat down to organize some video topics for this week, to record this week. Do you realize I stacked up 8 racists of the weeks? 8. Just things that were unaddressed that had happened over the course of the past couple of days. To the point where if I only did racists of the weeks all week, I wouldn't have been able to hit everything that went down. We had the situation in North Carolina, right? With the construction crew. We had the brother in South Carolina with the sinkhole. Okay. Where the brother tried to warn the dude and he got hit in the sinkhole, that instant karma situation. I should also give a warning too, because sinkholes give me the chills. I don't know if anybody else, I don't mess with sinkholes at all. There was a situation in Connecticut. Shout out to Miss Ray for finding that video. A situation in Connecticut where a dude threw sand and was allegedly spitting on a black family in Connecticut. They actually had video of him throwing the sand. Then we got this, we got the black man that was stopped and harassed by the Indian dude as he walked around the neighborhood asking him for his papers. Like we got to walk around with papers. That one blew me because they sitting there arguing about, do you live in this neighborhood? I didn't realize it was illegal to walk in a neighborhood you didn't live in. Let's say he didn't live in a neighborhood. Have you ever walked in front of a house you don't own? I'm pretty sure that's what taking a walk is. I didn't realize we're just circling our own yard. Like I didn't know that's what was good in the streets. Let's say he doesn't live in this neighborhood. What's the problem? That one blew me. Okay, so you got that one. Then you got this kid in Florida, right? The project manager in Florida who was doing IT, I guess, and was at which they just stopped by my house. These people just stopped by my house and asked me if I wanted to upgrade my router. It was people that were with my service provider saying that they have better equipment now. They just will swap it out and I could get better service. And guess what? I did. And you know why I was able to take advantage of that? Because I didn't shower the person with racial slurs. Now I have better upload speeds because I didn't shower the person with racial slurs. I didn't, you know what I mean? That's what happens. Just like the sinkhole situation. We got a dude in Michigan who was reportedly punching and spitting on black neighbors, saying the white race is coming to an end. You got a white man stopping a black father that was circling the block to help his toddler go to sleep. We got driving, we got walking, we got at work, minding our own business. That's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. What can we do? Maybe that is the question that need to be asked is what is it that we can do? Somebody just put up Money Talks, very underrated film, Money Talks, by the way. I did enjoy Money Talks. So there'll be some racists of the weeks coming at you. Just know there'll be some racists of the weeks coming at you. Shout out to everybody that sent me an email at admin@reesewaters.com. I did want to highlight this email, which is something that I definitely want to get into. I got this email from Carol, who said, Cincinnati is becoming the heart of Republican insanity. Ramaswamy is running for Ohio governor. Vance's brother, last name Bowman, is running for Cincinnati mayor. Both have been hanging out in Cincinnati using, quote, the brawl as PR for their campaigns. Ramaswamy held a town hall here tonight. The brawl, I still don't know what happened exactly. Apparently, a Russian guy slapped a black guy on one of the nights when thousands of people were in town for the music festival. A fight, then a brawl ensued. We are a blue city in a vastly red state. We love our mayor. He's the son of immigrants, so of course he's a target. The FBI arrested a man in Dayton a few days ago. He posted on Facebook that he was coming to Cincinnati to unalive 300,000 apes. Today, the KKK passed around recruitment flyers in one of the city's gentrifying neighborhoods. I thought you might be interested in this story. It's not going away. Yes. Yes. Carol, to answer your question, yes. Yes. I don't know that that's just one video. I know exactly my reaction exactly. That is a whole lot. Now we already dealt with Cincinnati when it came to the Nazis on the bridge, or actually not on the bridge. I didn't talk about them on the bridge. I talked about them when they went to Lincoln Heights, right, where they took the flag, burnt it, and then spit on the ashes. And then I think they were stepping, and then I think the Qs came and stepped on the ashes of the flag that was burnt. And then they joined hands and did a prayer around the ashes of the flag that was burnt. So we talked about that story. Then we talked about the cops when the footage came out of the cops helping them out. One dude had a service dog. Somebody brought a service dog out to do his racism. He went to go clock in for his racism, and he brought a service dog. I'm like, somebody needs a good service dog and didn't have one because you had to take him out to go do racism. That dog trained for years to learn how to help people, and you got him out here taking you to and from races. That don't make no type of sense. So we did that. Then we talked about the black residents of that neighborhood clicking up and forming a self-defense squad. And it doesn't shock me at all that we are back. We are back in Cincinnati. Now, I didn't do the brawl. I didn't talk about the brawl for one specific reason, and that's because YouTube don't like violence. YouTube do not like violence, and I don't want to half-step the video. You know what I mean? Maybe I should just make it. I should maybe just make it a members video. Maybe that's a string of members videos I can make. Is just fights. But YouTube does not. YouTube don't rock with violence, so I had to let the brawl pass. But I'm kind of paying attention. I'm like, don't they have footage of the dude getting slapped? So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Don't they have footage? Because I read an article all about it, and it was talking 6 people have been arrested for blah, blah, blah. And every name was black. They didn't have no photos, but I know Demarius was on this side. All right? I know Trisha was on this side, okay? That's what I know. I said, how you tell me it was a brawl? It was a brawl. And then tell me you arrested 6, 7 people and each name blacker than the next one. Who was they fighting? What the hell's going on? I didn't know you get the brawl for free. Look, I've seen a lot of white privileges. I didn't know brawl for free was in there. Apparently, brawl for free. I'm baffled that has got off the ground. When we have the footage readily available of the inciting incident. I'm baffled. Now, let me just do this real quick before I bring in our esteemed guest, Coach D, because this is another thing I'm baffled at too. I don't understand this at all. I did a video on Monday, I believe it. Yes, today's Tuesday. I did a video. My video yesterday was talking about the Texas gerrymandering, right? And I had so much to get through. I had so much to get through. I didn't really get a chance to just let my opinion breathe the way that I would like to. I understand that common sense has long left us, and it is so hard to expect a level of logic from Magas. I'm just telling you this. If I voted for Republicans in a jurisdiction where I see how far they are willing to go to restrict voting, to intimidate voters, and to gerrymander to keep themselves in power, then I know I fucked up. You know what I mean? Then I know I fucked. Ain't no way I did the right thing. And these are the lengths that they have to go to make sure that they get enough votes to stay in power. Excuse me? That is a hellacious indictment. And I don't understand why that in and of itself isn't being received as such. They're openly gerrymandering. And yes, we have long passed the point where we act shocked that they openly do things that they used to do on the low. They used to do that on the low. Now Trump can just get out in front of everybody standing right next to Levitt talking about we could pick up 5 seats. They just say the thing. They are openly gerrymandering. And I'm not supposed to receive that in a way that tells me the damage you are trying to inflict on the population. Because if that were not the case, you just say what it is and get all the votes. Yes or no? Yes or no? And then bigger picture, right? Bigger picture. Because this is what drives me up a wall. This is what drives me up a wall. Republicans years ago saw changing demographics. There was a question around Obama time about whether or not they would ever win an election again, right? They're talking about all these new voters that are coming in. They lean left. You know, the complexion of the country is changing. People are flocking to cities, all that kind of stuff. So the conservatives had a choice on the table of what it is that they decided that they wanted to do. They could try and appeal to these people. It's like a fork in the road moment. They can try and appeal to these people and try and present a platform that could win them over to the right. Or they could find every way possible to prevent these people from being able to vote freely. And as short-sighted as that choice appears to be, somehow, not only did they choose that, but as a country, we have let them do it for free. We've let them do it for free. I use the analogy about a year ago in a video, and I was so mad at myself when I recorded that video because I forgot it. I use the analogy, it's like if you own a burger joint, right across the street from another burger joint. And the other burger joint just doing business. You know what I mean? The other burger joint just hit let's say you own a burger joint right across the street from Five Guys. Five Guys just on top of it, right? They just doing money hand over fist, right? Instead of spending time and energy trying to make a better burger, instead of trying to develop new sides, as opposed to trying to renovate the inside so you give people a better dining experience, you spend all your time and energy trying to prevent people from going to Five Guys. All your time and energy is spent messing up traffic, messing up the roads, taking their signs down, flooding the internet with bad reviews. You could have spent that time on your burgers. You could have spent that time on your burgers. You chose not to. You chose not to. And somehow we have received that with legitimacy as a country. And it drives me up a wall. Like this whole thing, this whole gerrymandering fiasco in Texas, as far as I'm concerned, as long as this goes on, as much attention as this is able to garner, the better, because of how bad it looks on its face. But I don't know that people are even receiving it as, I don't know. All right. With that being said, shout out to Foggy. I appreciate you, Foggy, for being here. Shout out to TP. Oh, thank you, TP. Oh, TP done changed this. TP got a new photo. I appreciate that. Shout out to Karen. If you receive one of TP or Karen's gifts, send them some love. Shout out to Lex. Yes, they're doing all this BS under the table under acts of desperation. That's the one thing that gives me some, some positivity about the situation is just how desperate you would have to be in this situation. That coupled with the fact that apparently we are going to have an election. I hate that that's like a good thing. So that's happening then. So we're doing midterms then. Okay. Take the positive. All right. Without further ado, I want to bring you guys, as I mentioned, somebody whose content I thoroughly enjoy. Somebody that you guys have requested many times to be on the live, and I'm definitely looking forward to chopping it up with him and hear what he has to say. Coach D, what is going on, sir?
Man, I'm just sitting here laughing, just laughing, man. It's good stuff. So how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I first wanted to say, because as I was getting some deeper background about how you got to this point, there is a gentleman who calls himself a motivational speaker who goes by Coach D. He's in a suit. He's traveling around. Is that?
That is not me.
Oh, that's a whole different Coach D.
That's a different Coach D. Yeah, that's a different Coach D. I don't. I think he's. Yeah, I've spoken with him one time, but yeah, he's a different Coach D. He does like motivational speaking, which I have done as well, but that I don't do that really. That's a little side gig, you know.
See, this is what happens when you do black media, because if you would have went to a mainstream outlet, they'd be like, I saw you were just in Houston. How was it?
No, man, that's real. Like, I don't know how many times I've been on with another black creator who's like, dude, people keep thinking I'm you. And I'm like, dude, that's crazy. Like, one dude was like, bro, my girlfriend was like, I think this guy is stealing your bit. And he's like, nah, we just happen to look like we're just two black guys with the same body type or something. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's funny. But no, that's a different Coach D. I'm the Coach D who I coach track and field. I have been for 25 years. I was a track athlete, now a track coach. So that's the Coach D that I am. You're a track athlete?
Bro, I'm the top 0.001% of track fans in the country.
Really?
I watch the USA's. I'm got up on the track spice drama that's underlying all the Noah Lyles, Kenny Bednarik.
Yep.
I'm on. Yeah. So
yeah,
as to not let track hijack this. We'll circle back around to that. We'll circle back because I can have you on just talk about track. Honestly, I ain't even know. Man,
you did. Yeah, I have both. I ran Division I. Both of my daughters run Division I. Well, one just graduated. One runs Division I right now. She was I think 5-time All-American this year and everything. So yeah, track is life around here. It's what we've always done. My wife was a track athlete. We're track people.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you.
Your daughter's success. What is the right age to get them? My daughter's, she's running around the block or not, but it would be good, especially good for my son because he got a little bit too much energy come bedtime. So it'd be good to get him out running too. So what's a good age?
I used to run a fitness page, and I always talked about how, because everyone always asked me, oh, how'd you get your daughters to run? My wife and I are still runners, so we would just go out and we'd race them up and down the block. We like, hey, I race you to the flagpole, and we'd race them all the time. And we just started to realize they really liked running. So then we started saying, hey, let's go to the track once a week and do this. So it was a family thing for us to just head to the track on Saturday morning or Sunday morning and just run around together as a family. And when my daughter did her commitment post for college, she had a video of her racing me when she was like 5 years old and me pulling my other daughter on a sled. Like, that's just what we did. So I think any age is good. And personally, I didn't put my kids in like AAU or club track or anything. I just kind of coached them and hung around them because I just saw like overzealous coaches going crazy and yelling and cussing at kids. And I was like, you're not going to do that to my daughters and stuff. So I coached them up until, through high school. And then when they went off to college, I let their college coaches do their thing. But I coached them pretty much all their lives.
Okay, now I got to ask you this question. I have a track person in front of me because this has been killing me all weekend. So, so we saw in the 15, right? In the 1500, as well as in the men's 100. There's been a number of events where we saw some upsets. Now, I am of the opinion that while I understand the drama of the USA, I think you know where I'm going. And while I understand the drama of the USAs, no other country would do it this way. No other country is leaving a thing Mo home from the Olympics because she tripped and fell. We're just not doing that. So I'm like, I understand the fairness of having them run a race and you have to be in the top 3, whatever, with the USAs. However, that fairness has to operate in a context that is level, and it's not. There's no other country would leave these people at home the way that we do. We have to find a way to rectify this because this is unacceptable. I'm half expecting it because every time we do this, people go to the Worlds or they go to the Olympics and they home before the semis. And I'm like, why did we? What was the point of that? You peaked for a month before the big race.
Rai Benjamin has been like literally on this every time he gets to speak about it. And you're absolutely right. A couple of times, because we're so deep here in America, we've been able to bring home medals and stuff when we've left people home. But typically, yeah, if you're not bringing your best. But so the argument that the other side would have is that, hey, like, let's say my daughter this year chose to not do the USAs because she was a freshman in college. So she's like, you know what? I had a long year last year. Let's just rest and try to. Her goal is the 28 Olympics, right? So she doesn't go to it. But my thing is, you have a short window. Now, if you send a thing, Mo, you got to take someone else out. And that person who placed third, they're saying, hey, I have a short window to make this Olympic team. And I did it. She didn't. And so unless they granted, I think the Olympic Committee, the IOC, needs to grant countries like America, like a couple of wild cards, because if you're the 7th sprinter in America, you're like the 8th sprinter in the world, and that's the problem. Like we have so many. I mean, that's why you have so many countries paying Americans to just become citizens there. I mean, I forget which country, but they just paid a bunch of Jamaicans like $500,000 to just get citizenship there.
Was it? Oh no, Turkey was taking the Kenyans. I think.
No, it was Turkey. It was Turkey. You're right. It was Turkey.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, it's a thing, man. It's a huge thing that's going on. But I see both sides of the argument. But yeah, when the thing Mo tripped and fell, I was just like, we have to figure out a way to bring her. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't do that, and we didn't win the gold.
Does it drive you as crazy as it does me to hear them talk about the rivalry between Sydney and
Femke
Bowl? Does it drive you? I've almost broken my TV multiple times. It drives me up a absolute wall.
And here's the thing too, it makes you despise Femke Bol a little bit, and she has nothing to do with it. She's literally just out there running as fast as she can. She knows there's no rivalry. No one can beat Sydney. We're not even on the same level as her. Anna Cockrell beat Femke Bol in the last Olympics. So you're right. There is no rivalry there, but they have to do something, because if you don't have something, it's like, why are we watching Sydney? Sydney's about to run circles around everyone. So yeah, they brought Femke Bol forward as much as they could, but there was no pot. It was never gonna happen.
I honestly, I love Otto. Lord knows I do. I love me some Otto Bolden, but he's the worst offender. I'm sorry. I'm like, Otto. Like, was she at the crib? Like, I don't understand really. Anyway.
I know we gotta get off track, but I got a quick Otto story for you. So Otto Bolden and I came up around the same time. When I was a freshman in junior college, he was a sophomore in junior college. So we ran at the state meet against each other. He killed me. He took first, I took fourth, right? The next year, I won the state championship in junior college, right? Otto Bolden is coaching at San Jose City College that 1 year before he went to UCLA. He walked, and I didn't run a fast time. I went into the state meet ranked fourth, and it took it was an okay time to win it, but I won it. I beat all the guys from the South. South California, Southern California is always supposed to win. I was in Northern California. I won, right? I see Otto Bolden at a meet. Comes up to me. He's like, hey, man, you won the state championship. I'm like, yeah. He's like, what was up with that time, though? It's kind of slow. I'm like, dang, right? No big deal. Then I get to Fresno State. I went to Fresno State. Otto Bolden went to UCLA. We go to the national championships in the 4x100 meters. We were a mid-major at Fresno State, but we had a bomb team that year. We go to the national championships, and we're sitting there waiting to go out to the meet. Otto Bolden comes in. He's talking to UCLA guys. Now, this is my senior year. This is Otto Bolden's first year out of college. He's talking to UCLA guys, and they all look at us. They're like, somebody's going home early today.
Wow.
I'm like, what the heck? Otto Bolden is killing me. So then we go out, we beat UCLA. They don't make the finals. We do. We were actually second at the Nationals that year. We go back into there, and Otto Bolden's telling his guys, man, I ain't never lost to Fresno State before. I don't think Otto Bolden knew I don't think he knew I was the same guy he said didn't run fast at the state meet. But I feel like I've been dogged by Otto Bolden so many times. It's hard for me to like the dude, even though I do love him as a commentator. One of his former teammates was one of my assistant coaches. If you know Susie Powell, she was discus champion in America for years in the 90s and stuff. She was a teammate of his. I told her that story. She's like, I'll run it by him and let him know, like, you didn't like that or whatever. But I've been holding this grudge against Otto Bolden for like 25 years now.
You know how you get him back? You start a track channel, you blow it up, and you go at him head on, which you should do. I'm throwing it out there. Coach, if you start a track channel, I will volunteer my services. I'm good if you start a track channel. And if you don't, I will. I'm telling you that.
Might do that.
So you obviously are very accomplished across the spectrum. What made you want to sit in front of the camera and show these MAGAs the true nature of FAFO season? Like, what made you want to do that?
Man, if you go deep into my TikTok, like deep, like whenever I started on there, me, my wife, and my two daughters used to do dance videos. We used to literally just be on there having fun, making funny videos. My track athletes one time was like, Coach, you're pretty funny. You should do TikTok. I was like, I don't even know what TikTok is. They got me into TikTok with them. It blew up. They're like, look, Coach, our video with you went viral, right? So we started doing that. Then the George Floyd thing happened. I made one video just basically saying, listen, those cops should be arrested. If there was a video of me with my knee on a guy's neck and three of my friends just watching it, we'd all be arrested right now. Why are they not arrested? And I went from like 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, on TikTok to like 150 in like 3 days. And everybody was on there saying, we want to know more of your opinion on social justice stuff. So I would do the dance videos and listen, my daughters and my wife were very happy when I crossed over to social justice stuff. They hated the dance videos. The only reason I got them to do it, I'd be like, y'all want to make a TikTok video? And they'd be like, nah, Dad, we're not in the mood. I'm like, all right, then we'll go do yard work. And they'd be like, damn, we'll do the TikTok then, So that's how I got into that. But that's where it started. So I started making these videos, and then it just kind of blew up, and that became my thing. And now my wife and my daughters, they stay out of it, and I do it all myself. But I love doing it because I grew up in a very conservative, small white town. I moved from New Orleans, Louisiana to a small town in California when I was in the 8th grade. And so I moved back to that town after college. So I run into it's probably more like 60-40 now, MAGA to Democrat here. It's kind of grown a little bit, but yeah, I mean, it just started with George Floyd and it just kind of snowballed from there. And that's how I'm where I am now.
Now you're in California now, right?
I'm in California. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Okay. That's not 60-40. You're saying where you were. That's not 60-40. You're talking about where you were in Louisiana, 60-40.
No. The town I live in now, it used to be probably like 80-20 Republican to Democrat. It's a very conservative town. It's probably 60-40 now. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. In Northern California?
In Northern California, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we just happened to move. My uncle was a former Marine, and he worked at the Livermore lab out here, bought a house in a small town, and we moved here with him. And yeah, I've been here since then.
So what you're telling me is that Gavin Newsom does have some work that he can.
There are areas. Yes,
apparently.
There are some areas.
Okay. That's good to know. Now, what about being in this space, right? Being in the social justice space has like surprised you the most?
I think the support that you get, honestly, I get a little bit of pushback from people, but I like to think that, and I've had people I went to high school with, like Republicans through and through, MAGA types, see me in a grocery store and say, hey man, came across one of your videos because a MAGA dude that I follow, like Officer Tatum, for instance, made a video about you. Like, he was going in on you and stuff. So
has he really?
He's made like 3. Like, we went back and forth for a second. This guy saw that video and he was like, holy crap, that's Coach D. Like, I went to high school with this dude. So he was like, so I started watching your videos, man. He goes, I got to say, listen, we probably don't agree on a lot of things, but what you're saying, I know you're being honest. I know you're a real dude about it. And I listen to your stuff and I try to gain some perspective from it. So I like to think that because a lot of my stuff is evidence-based, it's not just me being emotional and stuff like that. Although I can be, I usually try to back my stuff up like you with facts, with statistics, with, real life experiences and stuff. And I think a lot of the white people that I grew up around, when they saw this, because they probably, and I probably consider myself a little conservative back in my high school, college years because of the town I grew up in. But when they saw this transformation, one thing a lot of them say to me is, hey, what I know of you is that you're a respectful family man who's raised some great daughters. You're respected in the community. Like, I've been a teacher, a coach, and a professor in this community now for like 30 years. So they know that. And I like to think that a lot of them say, you know what, even if I don't agree with this guy, I know that he's being honest. And I know that this guy's coming from a place of like perspective and empathy and all that type of stuff,
I know that we need to keep the lines of communication open. And I feel like what you said about people watching your content and learning something and changing minds is like the highest. That's kind of like the highest goal for making this kind of content. I'm going to be real. If somebody in my life told me that they follow and watch Officer Tatum, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? It's a wrap. I can't do it, dog. I can't. Yeah. Nah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, and this was someone I just happened to run into in the store, so it wasn't really like a friend. But yeah, but there's a lot of people, man. I'm with you though. That guy, dude. I mean, I can't with these dudes, man. That's my area that I think I'm the most. I just, if you want to say surprised by or what I think. These guys not having any type of gumption or any respect for the community or anything like that, just I can't do it, man. I got no respect for these dudes. And if you've seen some of my videos about them, I go hard on them. Man. I don't care.
No, as well you should. And I think, my approach is kind of like an attorney, right? Or even, dare I say, a cop, right? Where they'll ask you questions to try and box you in to where you kind of have to admit the thing or plead the fifth or whatever the case that you are. And that's kind of where I am with Black MAGA, because the space that they have to operate in to try and defend their stances on things is so tiny at this point in time, like 6 months into the Trump administration, that I'm not wanting to let them go just because they're not making as much noise now as they were around election time. No. We need to talk about what you did and why you did it. I'm not okay with you just making all that, no more than we are about the Latinos for Trump. We still air out the Latinos for Trump while they're doing these ICE raids up and down the street. No. Y'all don't get off the hook for making all that noise come election time, questioning Kamala Harris's blackness, ignoring all of the anti-blackness that we get from Trump. What have the Democrats done for black people? That all your talking points, and now you want to go silent when you see this administration aggressively try and eliminate any and everything black.
Yep. Yeah. So I used to have a guy this guy used to send me Officer Tatum videos all the time. And I do a reaction here and there to him, and I got to a point where I was like, I don't even want to see this dude. It's such a show. First of all, let's be real here. It is 100% a grift in the show. Officer Tatum is selling shirts. That's what he does. He has a shirt business. That's why he's running around in all these MAGA shirts and stuff like that. That's why he makes the shirts. It's a grift. I cannot. There's no way these people believe half the stuff they're saying. I know some of them. And listen, if you said I'm a Christian, God-fearing conservative because I believe in X, Y, and Z, and it's a logical thing, I can go with that. But I saw a video where Officer Tatum tried to make the case. I don't know if you remember those Alabama football players on the sideline and these people were yelling back at them, "Go back to the projects, go back to the ghetto," because they were just standing there kind of like doing a little dance and stuff because they just won a big game. This guy made the case that they can't be racist because they bought tickets to a football game where they know there's a lot of black people there. I'm like, he can't really believe that stuff. I've watched him say that people saying the N-word are just saying it because they're fed up with all the woke stuff.
The black fatigue.
Yeah, the black fatigue. Yeah. If they really believe this, then they're like what's the dude with the the black KKK guy that
Kanye?
No. The skit that
you're talking about
yeah. Why am I having brain fart on
yeah, I want to say
skit, yeah, what was it?
He was a crackhead. It was somebody knows it. It's the Chappelle Show sketch.
It's the Chappelle Show skit.
The blind white supremacists.
Yes. That's what they have to be if they believe the stuff they say. Because I just can't believe these people are that dumb.
The one for him, and I like how we go. The one for me. He did a video. I forget what Karen this was, but Clayton Bigsby. That was the name, Clayton Bigsby.
There you go.
There was a Karen. It was somewhere in Ohio where she was in this brother's driveway, and he was trying to come home, and she felt threatened. She questioned him, and he said, "I live here." She was like, "I don't believe you," and went running up and down the street. This dude tried to argue that the homeowner did not have a right to go home and be in his driveway, and was menacing the strange white lady who somehow decided to take a walk at night with her kids. That I was like, I don't like. That's it. It was that one for me. It just.
There have been so many that I'm like, this guy. The money must be great. It must, because these guys, their family members don't like. I've seen one of the worst people out there is Terrence Williams. That guy. I don't even want to say
not cousin T.
I don't even know. I cannot tell you what I think I might do if I ever saw that dude in person. I'm just letting you know. That guy, I can't believe that these people, there's just no way. I mean, I see this guy just arguing some of the dumbest stuff. And so I can't even remember my train of thought that I was going to tell a story about something he said or did. But Terrence Williams has said many times on his tweets, to my family members and the other black people who are saying X, Y, and Z. So, bro, these people aren't even invited to family functions. Like, their families hate them. Mm-hmm. So the money has to be just so good.
It's the Jesse Waters situation. It's a Jesse Waters situation. Now, I made a video yesterday. It was a rant video that I made talking about, I think I was talking about the Nicki Minaj thing, Nicki Minaj, Des Bryant, something like that. But I talked about how within the larger black community, we see some of this MAGA-like behavior, whether it circulates around a figurehead like Nicki Minaj or an idea like we see with FBA and some of the stuff that they try and push. So my question to you is, how do you reconcile these entities while trying to push the bar forward for black people at large who they also are represented by? You get what I'm saying? Because I said the thing is, it's not going to diminish my feelings and my love for all different kinds of people and my desire to see equity. However, I would be lying if I said it didn't give me some degree of pause to know what there is amongst us when I look to the left and the right of me.
Yeah. And I think, and that's okay. And here's the difference between you and I and like an Officer Tatum and those type of people. We're going to have these conversations in black circles. We're going to talk. So we can acknowledge those things and say, I have a little bit of an issue with that. That gives me pause. I feel some type of way about that. But we're going to have these conversations within the community and try to fix those things from within. Whereas they have these conversations, which is a video I made today. If you ever find yourself as a Black person in a group of all white Republicans and you are criticizing, bashing, or making fun of the Black community for their applause and their appeasement, you're just a bootlicker. Because if you really cared, you'd go to the Black community. Like we don't like ignore that we have issues in our community. Every time they say, oh, Black lives only matter when it's a police officer. No, I always do videos where I post in every big city in America. There is town hall meetings. There are marches about Black on Black crime or whatever. That is always an issue that we're addressing in the Black community. It doesn't get the publicity because people with the big platforms like these guys who are, these Black Magas and stuff, they don't talk about that. They only talk about it when it's, a white cop, a Black person or whatever. So I always try to make sure.
The gun debate. That's enough. They only talk about it as a deflection, which is its own shot. I said that it's actually really offensive that you use crimes perpetrated against Black people just as a talking point, when if you actually want to open it up to a real discussion and talk about the litany of factors that create a cauldron of crime literally everywhere, regardless of melanin, regardless of freaking country, you want to talk about opportunities and education and upward mobility and things of that nature, then you can bring that up, but you never will because you have no desire to do any of those things.
No, they don't care about the Black community, actually. They care about trying to make their next buck. And that's Terrence Williams. He's trying to sell freaking pancakes or whatever. Tatum is trying to sell, shirts and hats and all that. And you're right. That's all it's about. Because my thing is, I always tell, I'm actually in the community. Like I've been, like I said, a teacher, professor for 25, 30 years now. But I'm also a liaison between like my community and the police department. So these people would never say that. I mean, again, their families don't even like them. They always talk about how they're, my family members are this and that. Dude, if all Black people in your life are against the things you're doing, you should at least want to have a conversation with them about like why. You know what I'm saying? And like, and the thing I get a lot too is like, oh, you just don't want to do anything. You just want to be lazy and sit around it. Like that's one of the dumbest things. I made a video one time where I was like, I will put my resume, my life, my hard working and my degrees and all that up against anyone. And the things I've accomplished as a father and all that, like it's about me advocating for other people, not about, it's just the dumbest thing in the world when I hear people saying, oh, you guys just want to live off the government and blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, come on,
You mentioned, and by the way, I'm on with Coach D. There you see where you can follow him. You mentioned we talked about the Black fatigue thing just a second ago, and I just kind of wanted to circle back a little bit because one of the reasons why I really grabbed onto that, not only when it was trending, but also I circled back around it with the carnival, the new carnival rules, and people said, my thing is, we allow this laser-like focus on specific groups of us that get to represent all of us. Meanwhile, you have the nastiest of crimes that go ignored that are perpetrated by others, and they don't have that same responsibility or accountability. I mean, just in me talking, and just in us having this conversation, in the time since I sent you the link for this live, I'm sure there's been a right-winger who's been popped for something that I can't talk about on YouTube. Okay? So that's happening with but let a brother go shoplift from Burlington. We're going to blast that all over Fox News. So what I'm saying is, when we get on that bandwagon and try and practice respectability politics, to your point about having an internal conversation versus a public one, when you get on that bandwagon and start to have the public conversation and give gas to this narrative that we behave in a certain way, what you are allowing for is this double standard to expand on the perceptions versus the reality of who we are.
Absolutely. And these people know that, because when it's expedient for them, they will bring up how successful there are successful black people. Oh, you guys act like we can't be successful. There's this guy, that guy, and that guy. But then when they want to talk about the guy shoplifting, like I've literally heard Tatum say, "This is why white people don't like us. This is why we got problems here. This is why we got all these ghetto girls." And like this dude said one time something like the WNBA is a bunch of ghetto lesbian black women who all hate Caitlin Clark because she's white. I mean, I don't even like to make sense of it. I only do reaction videos to their videos now just because I think there's a youth of black people out there, of black kids who need to know that this stuff shouldn't be normalized. We shouldn't be okay with like black people just selling out the community for a couple of bucks and stuff, you know? But there are times where I think sometimes just ignoring them might be the thing to do. But it's hard to say because I just think we have to call it out. Like I'm always saying, if we're going to be anti-racist, we got to call racists out all the time. If we're going to be anti-black MAGAs, you know, pushing these narratives and perpetuating these, you know, falsehoods on our community, we have to call it out every time. It just drives me crazy.
That was actually a debate that I just had about Azalea Banks, because people were on me to talk about Azalea Banks and her defense of Trump and Epstein. And there was a narrative of people online that was, are you just finding out how problematic Azalea Banks is? And that's kind of where I came out on that. Like I kind of had ignored her and don't pay attention to her. And I said, you know, for me, granted, I wasn't in this space and I didn't have this platform and I didn't have this, you know, subscriber base or I didn't have this reach that I have right now in the past. So maybe this might be something that I could do when it's trending and this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, bro, you have said to yourself that this is an attention-seeking individual that no good. Like what would you say to you for going in about Azalea Banks? And I was like, yeah, I can't even do it. Like I was like, I can't. That coupled with what she said and the nature of what she said and how YouTube feels about that. So those factors combined, I was like, yeah, I just gotta let that one go, man.
It's funny you say that because I hadn't heard of her at all. I hadn't I didn't know anything about her until I came across those comments. And I was just like, and I made a video about it. I just posted the tweet and I think I probably, you know, blacked out some words that she said or whatever, but I hadn't heard of her. And then I started, you know, I listened to a couple of her songs or something because I had literally never heard of her before. And I was like, wow. And she just kept, I don't know if you read the stuff, but she just kept on digging that hole deeper and deeper where it came to like, my basic thing was, listen, you have psychological problems because of the things that have gone on in your life. That is why you hold these opinions. That is why you're saying the things you're saying. You need to seek counseling. Like it's obvious that it's deeper than her just being a nasty person. She's been hurt. You know what I mean? Coach, and she needs to seek some serious therapy.
Please tell me you saw the Rob Smith video. And I know you know Rob Smith, right?
Yes.
Please tell me you saw the Rob Smith video where he was talking about how no black men will vote for Kamala Harris because they've all been neglected by, you know, their black aunties who were unmarried and abused them. And I'm like, bro, find a couch. This is not, your trauma should not undergird your political beliefs. Like, what are we doing here, man? Dude,
that guy went to a Maga event. You probably saw when all that happened.
That's when I met him, was when that happened. That was the first. Yeah.
Yeah, like that guy, Maga event gets called. And sometimes it's crazy to me when, because I usually say at some point they find out, right? At some point they have that moment where they're like, oh, dang, I am black. And they realize it. And now, and most of them, they'll come over and they'll, and listen, I've I don't know if you see, Josh Doss.
Mm-hmm. He's
okay,
great.
Love that dude. He did a video one time where he said, hey, when you guys are ready to come back over, we're going to accept you with open arms, you know? And I was just like, not me, bro. I'm not like, I respect him because I love that dude and I think he's one of the smartest dudes out there. But I can't accept them. I won't. But some of them, they'll come back. But this dude came for a minute. He went on CNN, he cried and stuff. He went right back over there. Vivek Ramaswamy, like that dude was told, we're not voting for you because you're brown, bro. And he was like, I understand why people have those feelings. What are you talking about? Like, here you are, a billionaire, articulate, and they're telling you, yeah, it doesn't matter, bro. You're brown. We're not voting for you. And he's like, yeah, I get it. I think MAGA's, the whole MAGA movement, the whole mentality of loving Trump will be studied forever. Mm-hmm. But I think brown and black, people of color, conservative MAGAs, that is going to be something that I don't think there's enough time in this world to study how these people are where they are with this. I just saw one guy today championing, just cheering on Texas getting the gerrymander. Like, bro, they're disenfranchising people who look like you on purpose. And he's like, yeah, the Democrats are running away from Texas. I don't know, man. I'm glad I'm not around these people. I'm glad like I haven't been to functions where there are conservatives and liberals in the same room and they all chop it up and everything. Because I don't know how people do that. I just don't. They've gone way too far. I can have Republican friends. I can know people who are Republican. I don't even know if I should say friends anymore. Yeah, I can associate with. But when they are a MAGA, they're cheering on, Alligator Alcatraz and all these types of things. I don't want to be in a room with you. I just don't.
Now, I know you just put down your stance that they're not welcome back, but I just want to say if there was a young lady that was very vocal, critical of Kamala Harris, she might have done a 30-part series getting into her blackness. But now after the election, granted, we can't do anything about the work that she did in the past, but now after the election, she's really on Trump's helmet about a litany of things, especially Epstein. She's going at it with right wingers. She's popping up and butchering Fresh Prince of the Bel-Air and on Breakfast Club. Would she be allowed back in Coach D's world?
I would. I am happy to watch them fight with each other. But I'm still not like what's allowed back. I would never have tea with her or, yeah. I mean, I just, it's hard when you've done, the damage is done. Like, we're going to see so much harm done to our community by the things that these people advocated for, the things that they championed, the things that they got the man elected, not just his election, but now some of the things that the downfall of our community, there's some things that are going to happen to the Black community because of the things that they've said and done. I don't know. It's hard. I am, I'll tell you something about me. It's easy for me to cut ties with people and never look back. I've done that so many times in my life. It's almost a bad thing. Like, my sister will say sometimes, she'll be like, man, like, you just cut the dude off and you won't even talk to him at all. I'm like, yeah, I'm just done. It's easy for me to be done with people because I respect myself and my time too much to have toxicity in my life. Like, I would rather just move on and enjoy life with my family and no one else. I've told many people that all I need is my wife and my 2 daughters. Outside of them, I don't need anybody else. So, like, if you cross me wrong, I'm not going to deal with that. And this is advice that I give to, my athletes all the time. Like, you're with this dude that's just bringing nothing but like toxic, just stuff to your life. Why are you doing that? Like, this period is short, so I'm going to do it the way I want and I'm going to enjoy my life.
I thought you were going a different place when you was like, I cut people off in a second. My sister, I ain't talked to her in a decade. I was like, whoa, I'm glad.
You're like, find a couch, bro.
I was like, bro. Now, you do a lot of FAFO videos. I do a lot of them as well. You turn them around. Like, I always, if you do it, I'll see you do it before I do mine. But have you ever either like been recording or done a video or been intending to do a video and you were like, Like, has anything ever been like, I don't know. And I asked that because of one comes to mind for me, which was the woman. You remember the woman whose dad was about to be deported, and he was like on his deathbed or something, or like had really bad cancer.
Yes,
and he was going to be deported. By the time I got around to recording that video, she had done a subsequent video where she sat down and talked about why she voted the way that she did. And she she owned up to the white supremacist thinking that had infused her mind. And of course, everybody just dunked on her for recording that as well. But I was like, I mean, you got the dad and then you got her owning up to it. I was like, all right, I mean, I'm gonna do the video, but I'm gonna give it like a 6. I can't go hard body on this lady, man.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you exactly how I feel. I'm a very empathetic dude. And in my heart of hearts, like I did a video of the one lady from Canada. She was crying. She's like, the only thing I did wrong was I loved my country and this and that. The first thing I think about, though, is I think about before this happened to them, before her dad, who had cancer, was going to be deported, before she got deported, I imagine they sat around and they watched Fox News and the evening news. And when Reese Waters was like, yeah, look at that family getting torn apart, I imagine they did the same thing. And once I get into that space, and that's how I get myself ready. Because at that moment, I have to tell myself, you can't care about these people. These are the same people who literally sat there, and before it happened to them, they were like, I've seen people like Nancy Mace and Laura Loomer post things like, yeah, I love watching little Mexican kids cry when their dad's getting taken away. I imagine every single one of those people commented on that post, me too, or liked it and stuff. And that's how I get myself ready. And then I sit there and I go, nope, I'm going to make it a 10. I'm going to make it a 10 because they need to know, like, I can't let them off. I think about, because and it might be because like I have students and athletes that I've been coaching for years. I know people who are falling in, who are getting these things happening to them. And they're just people who, you know, look, I had an athlete of mine. He got here when he was 2. He didn't know he wasn't an American citizen until he was 16. He went and told his dad, I'm going to try to get a job. Can you give me my social security card? Dad was like, we got to have a talk. He didn't know he wasn't an American citizen. This kid goes to college. He was one of my assistant coaches after college. Like when you tell me you think that kid should be sent back to Mexico, I can't respect you. And so when it happens to you, I'm being real with you, man. I laugh my ass off. Because I think about my students and my athletes who got dragged into this. Nah. So they all get it. And I don't feel bad at all.
Is there any ones that stick out on the other side? Ones that were like, well, you wanted to give it a 12. There's a recent one would be the Texas flood woman. Remember the Texas flood woman?
Yes.
Who was crying to the news because not only was she a habitual offender, making fun of people before she went crying to the news, but then after everybody dunked on her for turning around, she tried to come back defiant. She tried to do the Denzel Washington, just tough chin with the slow tear coming down like it don't hurt. She tried to muscle through it. And I was like, okay, yeah, she is the most despicable.
Yes, absolutely. One thing I've noticed though, like there was one recently where this lady, and it's been kind of viral. She said that her dad was getting kicked out of his nursing home. And people were saying it's because of Medicaid and you voted for it. And she made another video where she was like, listen, just because I'm blonde hair, blue eyes doesn't mean I voted for Kamala Harris. She said straight up. She was like, people jump to that conclusion. And so there's been times where people have sent me a video and they're like, oh, this guy was a MAGA and now this happened. And I'll make sure I watch a bunch of stuff. I'll find their YouTube, their Facebook and all that. And if I can't find actual proof that they were a MAGA, I'm not going to make that video. I'm just not going to do it. I try to stay away from that. And I've seen some where it's been like, dang, I can't tell. The guy, he looks the part, but he's never said anything. None of his social media looks like it points at that. So I don't make the video. But Yeah, there's some. I think the family who they went to their house, they had the MAGA flag up, and the mom and the dad's like, we still support Trump. He's not taking the flags down. His wife is sitting in a detention center right now, about to be sent back to Iran, and he's like, yeah, we still support Trump. Like those people, yeah, and I feel bad. The only time I feel bad is their kids. I feel very bad for their kids because they've been born to two of the dumbest people on earth, like to ever walk this planet. And I feel bad for those kids. But outside of that, I'm telling you right now, man, I know for sure they're the people who were cheering that stuff on. And I can't respect that. I can't respect it.
I tell you what you do, and I know you make videos differently than I do, but there was a video I was making where it was a string of people. And I'd already recorded the video, but it was one where I was looking for, I was like, I don't see where they're MAGA. And like, I spent a lot of time, like I was desperate. I was like, come on, give me a MAGA hat, give me a Trump hat, give me something. I could not find anything. And so I had to record like an audio where I was like, look, because people were going in on these people. And I was like, look, I don't know if they're MAGA or not. For all I know, they could have been standing like in these streets trying to prevent this from happening. But this is how people are reacting. And this is why people are reacting that way, because of litany of all these other people in your community who vote. That's how I had to I had to end around it. At the end of the day, I made a comment in a video. We were talking about Epstein, where I said the success or failure of Trump's diversionary tactics on Epstein will be determined by his base, right? Like all the stuff, like the people in the media that are complicit in it, which by the way, is not going to go ignored. That is one good thing about Trump, is he's taking so many people into the garbage of history along with him. So many people. Mike Johnson. I mean, he's taken so many people with him. Maybe not Marjorie Taylor Greene trying to hop out the frying pan. But anyway, she's taking a lot of people with him. But all the media people that are trying to push Trump's narrative, be it Megyn Kelly or Charlie Kirk, all these people, it will be the MAGA base that will determine this at the end of the day. But that really dovetails with a thought that I had where I said, when it's all said and done, when we stand in opposition to the MAGA movement, right, or Trump's agenda, presumably have just about all of the people that were there in November of 24. But you either need to add MAGAs or former MAGAs, or you need to pull people up off the couch. Now, granted, you're definitely going to pull some people up off the couch, right? That now see ramifications of them being on the couch in November. But you can't just pull people off the couch. You also are going to need former MAGAs. And that is the kind of unfortunate truth that I see about how we move forward. Because I'm like, I'm closer to you in the Coach D Doss continuum, but I'm not. I kind of see where like we need bodies. Clearly, you know what I mean. We just lost the election, so. Yeah.
You make a good point. And sometimes I have to think about that. I've been guilty of saying, things like I'd rather lose elections if it meant X, Y, and Z. But you're right. We shouldn't. We need to win these elections if we want this world to be better for our kids and everything. So I absolutely agree. And I think at the end of the day, if someone does the work, if they're like, you know what? Because I've seen former MAGAs and they've come out and say, listen, I was a MAGA, but I've done the work now, and I'm and so like you say, with Candace and everything, it's gonna take a while for me.
Candace, that wasn't a real one, but somebody like MAGA Granny, right? You see MAGA Granny, like she's literally sounding the bullhorn that it's a cult, and this is how they got me. Like I'm like, okay, if you want to do that, if you want to go on a whole, apology tour and try and recruit more people out of MAGA, you know what I mean? Go do that.
Well, I've seen, Marjorie Taylor Greene, for instance, she's had a couple posts lately, but she never names Donald Trump. She'll say the White House. She'll say the government, but she'll never say, like she said something today, like they were cheated by Mike Johnson and the White House. Like, Marjorie, just say his name. You know what I'm saying? Like, until you're able to like say the name and really jump over, which, you know, when I used to do videos for the Midas Touch Network, and that's where I kind of got my start. You know, they found me off of TikTok and all that. And I did a lot of Marjorie Taylor Greene videos back then. And so I know a lot about her, and just two more than I want to know. Her and Lauren Boebert, man, you know, like those two are just, so I don't know. It would be hard, but they would definitely have to do the work. Like, and here's the thing too, it has to be public. I've had times where I've done a debate with someone or had a couple back and forths with someone over some videos, and then they try to DM me and say like, "Oh man, you know, you had a point." I'm like, "Nah, bro, like we're not gonna do, like, you publicly tried to debate me on this. You have to publicly go out and say you were wrong about it, you know?" So I need to see them do the work, and it has to be public. It has to be public work, and it has to be a lot. It has to be pretty profound, you know, because right now I just look at the damage that they've done. I can't stand it.
Marjorie is interesting because you remember when last year she got into it with Loomer? She got into it a couple times with Loomer.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And Loomer said, "You and the Arby's in your pants." You remember that one? You remember when Arby's caught a stray? So wrong. So wrong. So that was fascinating to me, because what started that was Loomer being Loomer, wildly racist and out of pocket towards Kamala Harris. Mm-hmm. And Marjorie called her out on it and was like, "Nah, that's racist. That's not what we need." And so Loomer went crazy and started talking about racist things that Marjorie's done, and she just ran, you know, Loomer's there all day, just, you know, doing stuff. Yes. And I was like, you know, this is really interesting, because I think it speaks to the evolution of pick-me behavior, right? Mm-hmm. On Marjorie's behalf, right? Because I'm like, you enable so much behavior, right, by going along with this MAGA movement and green lighting all the stuff that you see around you, the stuff that Loomer's doing, the stuff that Nick Fuentes is doing, the stuff that Trump is doing, whoever the case may be. Mm-hmm. You enable so much despicable behavior that when you decide to poke your head up and say, "Nah, I'm not really feeling this," mm-hmm. It looks crazy because of all of the things around you that haven't been a problem up to this point. And that was actually one of the things, and I hate that Loomer had a point. Loomer had talked about how apparently Marjorie had dropped ends on a dude in the past, and she aired that out about Marjorie being racist, which then also identified yourself as being perfectly fine with it. Hey, how about me airing out Marjorie Taylor Greene for being racist? Now, I've known this for a year plus. It clearly wasn't a problem until she accused me of being racist. So, like, in both directions, you see how, like, the futility of the end game of this pick-me behavior. So, like, if you look at it through that lens and what she's going through right now and expressing her opposition to Trump and the Republicans and things that they're doing, I have no idea what she's doing. And that is, as somebody that appreciates her deference on all of these things. I very much appreciate that she's actually calling stuff out, but I don't know, I don't know how this can go well for you, because you can't like publicly break with Trump right now. Like, you don't have the support to do that. So if you're not going to do that, then what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm really baffled by that as well. And it kind of makes me think of the Elon Trump thing, you know, same thing with him. I'm like, what is, like, again, like, he's like Trump's on the Epstein list. Bro, how long did you know this? How long were you okay with keeping this information from everyone?
Good
point. Same thing with them. So,
but you wanted to endorse him for president. You made sure to spend your money to get him into the Oval Office.
Let your kid hang out with him, you know, in the Oval Office and all. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't know if it's Marjorie, you know, trying to, like you said, she won't get voted back in if she breaks with Trump, right? I mean, there's no way. So this is not for votes. You know, maybe her saying America first has the people who don't like Trump, because what she is seeing is that the midterms look bad unless they gerrymander Texas, of course, which seems like that's going to happen. And we're just going to have a gerrymander freaking war going on. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird because like Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't care about people being racist. Like, she's fine with racism. So that's not it. Maybe she is actually against all the money going to Israel. I don't know. It really doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because you sat there when it's crazy to me that a lot of these people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Trump won't release the Epstein tapes. Like, and some of the Magas are even like, you guys think he might be on it? And it's like, bro, we've been saying this for like 4 or 5 years now. We've been saying it before the election. Like, he's never going to release the tapes. This is when I say I need people to do these things publicly. I had someone, a former athlete of mine from like 10 years ago, somehow found my Coach D Speaks page. Like, I try not to have those two things mixed. And she came on there and she's like, Trump's going to release the Epstein files. You just wait. You're going to see. He's going to do it, this and that. I said, hey, let's circle back to this. When he doesn't, because she said something like in a month or two, right? This was 4 months ago. I said, when he doesn't, I need you to come back on here and we need to have another conversation about this. Yeah, she ain't never been on my page since, you know? So that type of stuff, I need to, so I don't know your guess is as good as mine is when it comes to what these people are doing, because I think obviously always a grift. They're always trying to, you know, stay in power, make more money. That's what they do. Marjorie Taylor Greene, though, she's just, I every time I see Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, I'm like, people elected these two people. They went to the poll and voted for them. Like, that's crazy.
So this is my question to you. Who do you find more objectionable? The know-betters or the don't-know-betters? I would say the know-betters are the Mike Johnsons, the Nancy Maces, and the J.D. Vances. Those would be the know-betters. The don't-know-betters would be the Boeberts and the Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let me get maybe Matt Gaetz when he was there. Who's another don't-know-better?
The one dude, the one idiot who thinks that Clay Higgins.
Okay, yeah. I get Higgins.
That guy's been hitting the head too many times or something. I don't know what he's ever talking about.
Who bothers you more?
It's definitely the no-betters. However, it bothers me a lot that Lauren Boebert could go to that theater and do the stuff she did and it be on tape. And then we know she's drunk. We know she went home and, you know, she's like Christian, God-fearing all the time. And then we see her getting arrested for the X, Y, and Z, or being at the theater doing that thing. It drives me crazy that I see people, you know, I don't know how many times people were like, you're just mad you weren't in the theater with her. Like, no, that's not it at all. It repulses me that this lady gets on TV, does the holier than thou thing, calls Democrats just, you know, she had this video where she's like, why are you guys going after our children? Like, you were in a theater with children. We saw them on the video. You were drunk, belligerent, acting dumb, doing your thing. So it's hard for me because, like, I can at least, as much as it's a bad thing, I can at least respect the hustle of some of these people. Of you know, like Mike Johnson is hustling. He's just trying to hustle. He's just trying to stay afloat. And sometimes I'm like, okay, you know better. But so I think what I'm saying is the voters bother me the most out of the two.
So yes, yeah. I think you're right. I think when it comes to the two groups of people, I would agree the no betters bother me more. But it bothers me that the don't know betters are there. It bothers me that they exist at all. I totally agree with you. And I did want to pinpoint as you were talking about Boebert in the theater and all of that, that is why the black fatigue thing drives me up a fucking wall. That's why, because she can be in Congress. Okay, she can be roaming around getting escorted away from Trump because she's too drunk. After this, between that and Kid Rock, that gets to happen. That's totally fine, right? She gets to have an ex with how many charges, a son with how many charges, and just picked up a new one, and still fix her mouth and call somebody a DEI and cast aspersions on Jasmine Crockett and Ayanna Pressley and Summer Lee. That's what I'm talking about when we get on board with the black fatigue. That's what that looks like.
Oh, like listening to, and it's so dumb because like I've made videos about it, right? Listening to people say that Jasmine Crockett or Ketanji Brown Jackson, like these people are DEI hires. Like, are you serious? These are accomplished, judges and lawyers, and Lauren Boebert literally finally passed her GED test like weeks before she got into Congress. It makes no sense at all. And to have these people like, Terrence Williams and Tatum say things like they're DEI hires. Like, are you serious? Yeah. It drives me nuts too.
Have you ever heard the saying, I want to have the audacity of a mediocre white man?
Yes.
You heard that audacity?
Yes.
Reminded me of something that I said in the Boebert video when I was talking about her picking up charges. And I was like, if I took my GED 3 times and I just got it before I went into Congress, I would probably just be quiet. You know what I mean? I would just chill. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm just here to learn. I'm here to listen. Not Boebert. That's not, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, what? Anyway.
Remember she was on with the black dude. He was like the EPA guy or something like that. Mm-hmm. And she said some stuff and they panned to him and he was like, it's like, do you know what you're talking about? And she was like, yes, I do. And then he corrected her a bunch and then they went back to someone else and then they corrected her. And she just looked so dumb. And then there's the one, she's talking to Steven Spielberg or something. She thinks I don't even remember it all, but there are so many videos out there of her just messing up. And I blame it on the fact that she's very ignorant and she has these staffers, right? And they hand her something like right before she goes on and she doesn't know any context and she tries to read it real quick. Then she says something. Then they ask her a follow-up question. She's like, the staffers are way. And just imagine for a second, being one of these staffers of hers. Mm-hmm. These people are typically highly educated. Like the only reason they're staffers is because they're like 22-year-old, Harvard grads or whatever. And they're like, I got to work for her. Mm-hmm. I got to work for Lauren Boebert. She gets to tell me what to do. Oh, goodness. And a lot of them will never be voted in because Lauren Boebert got voted in because she carried a gun around and, was like Second Amendment, this and that and everything. And the people in her district were racist and there was no one else running and she won. And she changed over to a different district because she knew she was going to lose one. I mean, we're so doomed sometimes.
I got a question for you. And then because I want to get you out of here soon because I've thoroughly enjoyed this. So I want to have you back. I'm not going to keep you long. I need to ask you about the Democrats and I need to ask you one more track question. But before we leave the Republicans, I'm curious, who is your favorite MAGA representative?
It's funny because like it almost becomes
and you can take that question and get creative with it.
So
I actually have an answer, and you just reminded me of that.
It's funny because, like, in a lot of cases, the worst are my favorites. Like, because they just the sound bites that they give us every day. Like, if I turn on Twitter and there's a video of Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm turning it up because I know there's going to be some good content there. And when it's good content, it's a lot of time it's because there are people in their comments that believe the stuff that they're saying. So my favorite would have to be, I don't know if it could be Marjorie. Sometimes it could be Lauren, but man, for a while it has to be, now I'm going to forget his name. Oh man, the Southern dude.
Not Senator Kennedy.
No. The one who, gosh dang it, he had the video.
Senator Kennedy tried to make a run for the title when he showed up with the red Solo cup. Remember when he showed up with the red Solo cup, trying to talk over the black lady? Yeah. He tried to make a run for it.
Yeah, it's got to be one of them because they just do the best. But man, it's on the tip of my tongue. I'll remember in a second who it is. But you go ahead and give me yours.
It's Boebert.
It's Boebert.
I'll be dead real with you. I look. Her very existence shows the racial inequities that are present in this country, as I just have outlined. She's woefully underqualified to even be a staffer for a congressperson. Not far be it actually being a congressperson. But when I tell you the level of entertainment that she provides, anytime, Lauren Boebert is like literally what it would be like if they said you had to be a congressperson for the day. You don't know what they're talking about. You don't have no background. You don't speak the lingo. Your clothes are kind of ill-fitting and like you just threw them on. You like not all together there from the night before. Like I was like, Lord, she's like an everyman congressperson, which is all sorts of problematic. But when I tell you the way I howl when she looks stupid all the time, Boebert! It's Boebert! She's my favorite.
So someone in the comments said, is it Mark Wayne Mullen? And it's funny that they said that because he's definitely on the list as well because he falls in that same category. That guy is the most he has, I think they said he might have like maybe a high school diploma. He just is always wrong all the time. But I was actually talking about
Robinson, right?
Yeah. Lindsey Graham.
Lindsey Graham, okay.
Lindsey Graham also. He when I go back to these videos of people like Lindsey Graham saying Donald Trump is going to wreck the Republican Party. The guy is incompetent. He does not represent me. He doesn't represent the armed forces. This guy's an embarrassment. We should do nothing. So now this guy's like greatest president ever. I don't know how we've ever done it without him. I just love him so much. And what do you think they have? What does Donald Trump have on these people? Like, are there just videotapes of everyone doing just the craziest stuff? Because listen, I don't even wear jerseys of like football players. I don't care to have other people's names even on my back. These people are just, it's absolutely crazy to me how much they just love and adore and won't say a single thing negative about the guy.
They think that we're terrified of the list being publicized because we want to protect Bill Clinton. I'm like, who?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
So I got to get rid of all my Clinton t-shirts? Like, what are you talking about? I got to burn my Clinton hat? Who? Come on, man.
I love the fact that Barack Obama became president. Black man, looked up to him, very articulate, smart, did some great things, never had a shirt or a hat. Never did. And I think I still have a newspaper, the day of newspaper clipping. I just don't understand, like, turning these people at the end of the day are politicians. That is a politician. That politician typically wants to stay in office. They'll do some things that'll trickle down to us in a lot of ways and everything. But a lot of times, a lot of it's self-serving. Not all of it and not a majority of it sometimes, but sometimes it's self-serving. So that's a politician to me. So I don't get it.
What you're also seeding, once you make it your personality, is that your support isn't actually about anything. Mm-hmm. That's what you're seeding. Like when you consistently have your own ideals violated and contradicted by the person that was supposed to uphold those things, then what you're telling me is none of those things were actually important or relevant. And your support for this person has nothing to do with what they're doing or who they are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's crazy to me when it's people's entire, I have a guy who in my city who go to basketball games. His son plays on the lower level team or something. Every time I see the guy, he's got on some type of Maga shirt.
Wow.
I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing? And they think it's a flex.
You got to file him hard or something, man. You can't be.
they think it's a flex, and they think they think it triggers me, but it just makes me go, dang, like there are really people walking amongst us who like we're literally sharing earth with people who think it's cool to wear these like this just wear this guy on them every day. Every day. It's crazy to me, man. I can't do it.
Now, on the left side of the aisle, there's obviously been a power struggle. It's almost a generational power struggle in some respects, because it definitely seems like the younger Democrats are on the aggressive side. My stance has been whoever most closely reflects my level of anger and disgust, I ride with. And it's generally been always the younger people, with the exception of Jamie Raskin from the great state of Maryland. Look, I say I'm from DC all day, every day, except for when the Terps won the championship, the Lady Terps won the championship, the Ravens won the Super Bowl, and Jamie Raskin going hard. That's when I become Maryland. Maryland. Whoever represents my anger, whether it's Jamie Raskin, Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Bernie Sanders, so it's not entirely generational, I ride with. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to have a purity test because, I made a video about AOC and her traveling the country with Bernie Sanders and AOC, people in the comment, AOC's and not with reparations and this, that. And I'm like, hey, are you making noise? And are you rousing up people in opposition to Trump at this point? That's what I'm with. I'm curious about what you see from the Democrats when it comes to them trying to pick themselves up and move forward after 24.
I need boldness. Like, you have Mamdani right now, right? Who's out there like, hey, we're going to make grocery prices cheaper, rent cheaper. Donald Trump came in and he started signing executive orders for everything he wanted to do. He didn't give a dang what people were going to think. He just said, I want that. We're signing an executive order. The person I'm going to put, hitch my wagon to needs to say, there are certain things the Democratic Party needs to get done, and I'm signing executive orders for that. And if they want to sue us and we got to take it to court, whatever. But I'm signing executive orders. But we're going to raise the federal minimum wage. We're not going to mess around with this anymore. We're not going to ask people. We're not going to talk to states about it. We're going to do that. We're going to make sure that, we have more opportunities in marginalized communities. I want to see money going towards revitalization projects. I want to see education ramped up more. I want to see and I don't want to have conversations. If Republicans don't like it, then we're not gonna go with you guys. We're gonna rally the Democrats around this. When Joe Biden said we're paying off student loan debt, because I know that is a drop in the bucket. That is nothing to me, and I know he did it for a lot of people, and I don't even fault him because he did a lot of what he could. But I just feel like more can be done from Democrats, and I want bold people. Like, I don't want any more of I'm done with, we'll try to reach maybe we'll try to reach across the aisle. But there are some things we've talked about for way too long now. We've talked about it for way too long, man. Like, we've talked about, making college more affordable way too long. We've talked about giving people better, better pay and working conditions way too long. We've talked about healthcare being, single payer for way too long. We've talked about lowering the price of freaking childcare for parents way too long. I'm tired of talking about it. The next person I'm voting for is going to come in and say, I'm doing these things. And I want them to know I'm going to give you the opportunity to prove it to me. If you guys don't prove it, though, I'm going to move on. And I'm going to make sure I do everything I can to get rid of you. I need boldness. Like, this dude came in and started signing executive orders, and they started just going to work for all his crappy ass policies. If you want to tax billionaires and millionaires a little bit more, executive order. I want real tax cuts for people who make under a certain amount of money, like real tax cuts. I don't stop talking about it, like be about it, And so, I mean, that's it. Those are the things that, sometimes people are like, oh, you should run for something. And I'm like, man, excuse me.
Bless you.
I'm always like, oh, I think about it, but then I'm just like, I honestly feel like my
Hey,
videos and stuff
you
like
gotta
that
think
made me
about
do
that.
better.
I gotta think about that Oppo research. I gotta think about that Oppo research. I was like, I'm good.
And,
I'm good.
and we all been to college and stuff like that. This is at least I don't know how old you are, but I'm 50. So, like I was out there in the 90s and there's not a lot of, videos and then pictures and stuff like that, like they got today and everything, man. These kids, I'm always telling my daughter, stay away from it, man. Don't be messing with these people.
You remember
Byron Donalds.
You remember when everybody got paranoid about the camera on their laptop and they were like, oh, you put the black tape over the laptop?
Yeah.
I did that for a day or two and I was like, you know what? They got me. You know what I mean? they got me. So I might as well enjoy myself. I'm did the right thing. For nothing.
It's like when I had friends who were like, "Oh, what if there's a microchip in the in the vaccine?" Like, bro, you carry a phone around with you. You carry a phone. You're on that thing all the time. They don't need the microchip is already in your phone, bro. Like, stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. So yeah, I get you though.
I definitely want to point people to because you did a series on. I mentioned Democrats haven't done anything for Black people, which you did a whole series about that. So I definitely want to point people over to that because I thoroughly enjoyed that, as a number of people have. What do you have coming up that people can be on the lookout for? And obviously, I see your social handle there, but where they can follow you.
Yeah, lately I've been trying to think about what I'm doing. Some days it's just I wake up and I see a video that I'm just like, okay, that kind of got me excited to get up out of bed and go make a video, but I'm starting to think about like more along the lines of doing more to help the party, outreach more, better itself, and then also, I'm a big advocate, man. Like I said, I've been a teacher and a coach for 30 years now, 25. I'm a big advocate for like doing things for the youth. Like, so that's going to be another series I'm going to come up with where I'm doing more videos about what we can do to help the youth. I have seen, and this is why it bothers me a lot when people are like, that just lazy kid over there doesn't want to do anything with his life. Forget that kid. In my 25 years, I could say there's probably been like 40 kids that if I didn't say, I'm going to give them this next chance and this was my life. I had a coach, my father wasn't in my life. I had a coach that was the guy for me. And he was always like, if I got in a fight in high school, he was in the principal's office. Like, let me take care of it. Don't suspend him. Don't take him off my track team. I'll take care of it, because I grew up a little rough, and he took care of me, man. And because of that, like him and my mother being as strong as she is, I went to college, got a degree, went to graduate school, all that stuff, And, I have an athlete right now, former athlete of mine, who's a Division I head track and field coach. That kid, I kicked him off the team the first year. Anytime I kick someone off the team, it's to let them know, like, you crossed the line. But I still keep in contact with them. I still tell them, hey, I'm still going to help you get to the next college. Or if you have a second year with me, I'm still going to help you do that. Brought the kid back the second year, biggest advocate for me. Went on to go to 4-year school, ran track there, ran for the USA team for a couple of years, got his bachelor's degree, got his master's degree in the same program I got my master's degree, started coaching at junior college like I did, got a head Division I coaching job. That kid, if I kick him off the team and never talk to him again and say, I'm done with you, there's a chance he doesn't get to where he is. And so that's my goal in life. It's always to save as many youth as I can, male, female, just to get them to the next thing, in their life and everything. And so that's my thing is like, I want to do some things where I'm doing some fundraising, putting some money back into, initiatives and community involvement type of pieces and stuff like that. Because at first this was about, I'm going to make some videos, say some things about people, point out some things, call out some stuff. But now that my platform has gotten bigger, I'm at a point now where I'm like, I can use this platform and use these subscribers and followers to help me get some things done that I've always wanted to do. Like, like housing, student athletes that if they can't get housing, they can't get to the college at all, so things like that, because I'm at a junior college that doesn't give scholarships. So oftentimes I'll get a kid in whose parents are like, you got to get a full-time job, you can't run track anymore. And so those are the things on my mind, but there's no telling, man. There's no telling what's next for me. I might let some of these people talk me into running for some type of government or something like that too, but we'll see.
Hey, obviously we will communicate offline, but if I can be helpful in that regard, definitely let me know. I didn't live that experience. I was good as a prep school runner in DC. I wasn't like running. I was on the Columbia University track team for one day, one practice. I went to the first practice. That night there was a frat party. And I went to the frat party, and while I was on the couch, I quit the track team. That was basically kind of, clearly I was a walk-on. So I wasn't that good to be able to run. So I don't know the life, but I did watch, I saw a lot of Last Chance U, and the one they made, the Last Chance U basketball, where the kid was going back and forth, to go drive. And I think he was like flipping burgers. Like, I think it was not a job that he was making a lot of money at, but he was basically sleeping in his car, shuttling back and forth from practice to go do this gig. And I was like, that's wild, because you're not living in, your lifestyle doesn't even allow for you to be your best when you play the thing that you are trying to dedicate yourself to. So anyway, that's the extent of my experience with my knowledge about that. But if I can be helpful in any regard, absolutely, please let me know. And obviously, as you know, track is, track is my jam. Now I'm going to ask you this question. And you can think about it while I go through these super chats. So this is your closing shot. Okay. I need your winners, men and women, for the 1, 2, and 4. Okay. At Worlds. Okay. All right. Shout out to Zach. I see LexCorp said, hopefully one day you'll get a collaboration going with Tabitha. Her videos be on point, like good chicken and greens. We did reach out, and Tabitha actually acknowledged that we reached out. Shout out to Tabitha. I enjoy her work as well. So yeah, we'll figure it out. We will definitely figure it out. Goldilocks, hi, Reese and everyone. Nice to see Coach D speaks on the program as well. I enjoy it. Linda Lou still blue. Time flies when I follow excellent comment. It did fly. It did fly. This has been fire. Have you liked the video? Thank you for that, Roberta, as always. Rob Smith was defiling us and furthering himself away from the Black Cookout as usual in the name of apologizing to that white youngin's parents regarding the Carmelo Anthony situation. Well, your Officer Tatum really crashed out over that situation as well. So one of the many. David, I appreciate you, sir. Reese and Coach D are great when their passion is out. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that. If you were a recipient of one of Linda Lou's gifts, send her some love. Tim Scott or Byron Donalds? Well, what's the question? What's the question? Who am I more entertained by? Tim. Tim is more entertaining. In terms of like what, because I've made a lot of videos about both of them. I typically have more energy for Byron. It's kind of like doing stand-up where they say the people think being booed is the worst thing that can happen. It's actually not. It's actually silence. Because when people are booing or heckling you, that's energy that you can use. It's bad energy. You don't want it, but it's energy you can use. When people are dead, silent, there's nothing there's nothing to grasp onto to save yourself. You just out there. So that's why I have more energy when talking about Byron. Those two women had to really had to get all kinds of accolades and credentials to be where they are versus the counterparts on the other side of the aisle who have nothing more than a GED. Absolutely agrees. Going back to the Bobert, Marjorie Taylor Greene conversation. Tracy Trey, welcome. Nazi, thank you very much. And Deshauna, as always, thank you, Coach D, for stopping by and chilling with us and supporting Reese's channel. Come back. Absolutely. I second that. All right, here's your party shot. I need your winners for the 1, 2, and the 4.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the women first. I'm a big Melissa Jefferson fan right now. I think what Dennis Mitchell is doing with his training group is just ridiculous. So I'm thinking Melissa Jefferson is gonna get the 100. I don't know if she's gonna contest both. That would be crazy if she does. I think she's gonna have her work cut out for her. But right now, she's the best. I would think the only person who could touch her in the 2 might be Gabby Thomas. I know I'm kind of glossing over. The Olympic champion in the 100.
You're talking about Julie Alfred.
Yeah, I'm glossing over her. But I've watched Melissa Jefferson all year long. She's the real deal right now.
So I'm gonna give her the
yes.
It's 1 and 2 is a tall task. It's a tall task, and I feel like if she just focuses on the 1, she gives herself a better chance.
Yes.
To win the 1. I also hate that Mackenzie Long didn't make it in the 2. Oh. Killing me that Mackenzie Long.
I'm a fan. Big fan.
But she looks unbelievable. She looks unbelievable.
Yeah. So if all the 100, I haven't looked at the schedule yet, but if all the 100 happens before the 200 and she wins the 100, it's worth it to just jump over the 200 as well. But if she has to run around, which I don't think they do that, I'm pretty sure all the 100 will happen before any 200 will happen. Okay. So she should be good there. So I'm gonna go with her there. The 400, if Sydney, I think Sydney might run the 4, but she might go.
The 2? You picked her for the 1 and the 2?
I'm picking her for the 1 and the 2 if she does it. If she chooses not to do 1, I think Gabby makes a better run in the next, like these people who have won championships, they seem to step up when the time comes. Mm-hmm. And so it wouldn't surprise me if Gabby got her stuff together and was ready to get that, because she's not going to run the 100. So she's going to be fully fresh. She ran a round or 2 of the 100. Once she's fresh for this 200, you might see a different person. So I'm going to give it to Gabby in the 200 if Melissa doesn't run it. In the 400, if Sydney's running it, she wins that. If she doesn't run it, man, it's the girl, the college girl.
I'm pretty sure she's running it.
She's going to run the 4?
I'm pretty sure,
okay.
Yeah.
Then it's her. Yeah, it's her. It's her all day long. Yeah. It would be better for me to tell you who's going to win the 400 hurdles. It might be, I was really impressed that Dalilah Muhammad was able to do that. But
I was too.
Again, I think, Femke Bol might be trying to get her world championship while Sydney's not around. But there's a girl from Canada that ran in Michigan who's going to be a force also. She broke Sydney's collegiate record this year. I'm going to forget her name too right now. But yeah, on the men's side, I'm
swapping out the men's 4 with the men's 8.
Okay, the men's 8. Okay. All right, that's good because that gives me a second to get on my Donovan Brazier kick. So in the 100, I think Kenny. Oh man, I wish I could wait till after this race happens in a week, because the Jamaican dude Thompson Lashane is going to be running. So is Noah and so is Kenny. Right now, I feel like Kenny's the guy in the 100. Like, he jumped out on Noah in that 200 and he ran a heck of a 100. So I think Kenny might be the guy in the 100. Noah is the guy in the 200. I say that, but then he didn't win the Olympic Games, but he might have had COVID. Who knows? All that stuff going. I think he did for sure. Yeah, I think that was corroborated that he had COVID. This is a hard one, man. I'm going to go.
I hate that I learned what I did about the
track spice.
The track spice, because I like Kenny, man. I like Kenny, and I was like, bro.
Yep, absolutely, same. My daughter and I were literally just talking about it. I was like, dude, Kenny was my guy. He's a junior college guy. Came up, the right way. Seemed all humble and all that, but then, like, bro, how do you do that and then get caught? And he hasn't even addressed it yet. You know what I'm saying? Like.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, there was a little tussle altercation between Noah Lyles and Kenny Bednarik at the USA Championships. And I didn't know anything about it. I thought it was just Noah being Noah. And I honestly kind of blamed him for cutting in front of Kenny. So Kenny was actually getting cover for me in my initial viewing. Mm-hmm. But then in watching some of the reactions to it, people were like, oh, Noah. I also misheard what Noah said, because I thought that Noah said please accept my apologies. But what he actually said was, I expect my apologies. And I was like, why would he say something like that? That didn't make sense to me. Come to find out that Kenny has been tied to a now deleted blog, social account called Track Spice that allegedly, I haven't seen any of the stuff that was on it.
I can't find anything.
Allegedly was attacking Noah's wife.
Yes.
And also many other track stars, and was known to be right-wing and anti-black.
That too. I didn't even hear that part.
Yeah. It was known, it was supposedly like real colorist and like.
Oh, yeah. See, and that I wish I wouldn't have found out either. My daughter sent me something and I was like, dang, you know, but I'm just going off of talent.
Right. I know, yeah.
That's it. So I think Kenny, I think he can win the 100. I think Noah wins the 200. The 800, bro. I'm pulling for Donovan Brazier, but the dude, the young cat from the other country, I don't even know his name. He won something recently. He's been going off. He broke the world record already. But Donovan Brazier, man, I am so happy that dude is back and is doing what he's doing. The 16-year-old kid is going to have a hard time making it through the rounds, I think, just because that's a huge, you know, for him to do. But, man, I hope he does. I hope he makes the finals.
But see, that highlights why we had this whole conversation about the trials versus having a selection process, because you get the 16-year-old, which it was a great moment. It was a great moment. Everybody was excited about it. Now he's taking a spot and you're asking him to go over there and be able to consistently replicate this around pros. And we've seen people fail time and time again and jump out and take spots from guys we know can run the rounds. And would be able to make it into the finals. So, and Donovan is an example of somebody whose spot was taken in years past. Now, it happens that he was injured and he had a lot of other things going on. But, I mean, the first Donovan Brazier disappointment, I don't know what year that would have been, 2021, maybe 22. What the first, that was the seed of this, like, strong, like, people talk about Maga defining themselves, creating a personality. That's part of my personality. Is that track needs a better selection process. I've made that part of my personality. Donovan Brazier was very key and integral to creating that energy in me. Supporting him, you know. So you see both sides of it in the 800.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Josh Hoey being in there would have been better. I mean, I shouldn't say it would have been better because I don't want to disrespect the 16-year-old at all. I think maybe has a better chance of making it through the rounds, the rigors of it all. Like, that kid's got to go all the way to Tokyo. Hopefully, you know, parents can make the trip and all that pretty easy and everything like that. But that guy's got to go there, acclimate himself to the time change, the code, just so much more that all these guys have done so many times. But my goodness, man, to run what he ran, absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I
mean, that's not even to get into, I didn't mention it right at the beginning because the names were escaping me, but Yara Naguse, how you going to get Yara Naguse home, man? And Hobbs Kessler.
Hobbs Kessler, too, which is absolutely crazy. Like, but Naguse, I mean, if you know anything about track, and you do, Naguse should not have led that race from start to finish. You cannot allow people to draft on you like that. Like, if you're going to lead a race from start to finish like that, you got to be 5 to 7 meters ahead of people. Because when you allow them to sit on you, you're literally doing so much more work than they're doing when you're just breaking that win for them. It was just a bad idea. You could see it with like about 150 to go. Naguse started grimacing. It was just I know
he didn't look good. He did not look good.
I know they want to do it their way, man, but you got to be smart, you know? And so, but we're leaving the Goose home. That is, man, like, I mean, look at Quincy Hall. Quincy Hall didn't make it out the rounds.
I think he's still got a shot, though, because he's been injured, right?
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Quincy Wilson.
Quincy Wilson didn't make it out the rounds,
Quincy Hall won't get in because he wasn't the world champion. Was he the world champion? He wasn't the world champion.
His
he was the
only
Olympic
shot
champion.
to get in is apparently the Diamond League winner gets a wild card.
Okay.
And that race is in, but I think that race is like in a few weeks. So if he's injured, so he would have to like rehab and win that race.
Yeah. So I had to coach against him for 2 years in junior college. He was at junior college in Fresno, and we ran against them all the time. And his coach and I are pretty cool, actually. His coach went to the college and recruited my daughter to where she is now and everything too. So
that's dope.
But now he's back at the college in Fresno and everything. So yeah, so I know a lot about him. That guy's a dog. When you say a dog, like that guy is a dog, man. He does it.
You can see how he runs the 4.
Yes,
you can see he's the dog. Yeah.
Yes, he's a dog, man. So, bro. But yeah, that's my predictions. I might go throw some money on that. I hear you can bet on track now.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. I've done it. Yeah, and actually, it's probably the best I've ever done because it's the thing that I know. Oh yeah, it's the thing that I know the best. So,
is it on DraftKings or on like
I did it on FanDuel, but I'm sure it's probably on both.
Oh, okay, I'll have to check it out.
But I did it on FanDuel.
They said if you would have put like something on who was it that won? Who's the biggest upset? Oh, Brazier at the beginning of the year, like millionaire because it was like crazy odds. Yeah, so. But go ahead. You were gonna say something?
No, I was saying when is Worlds is like a month away.
Yeah, it's middle September.
It's kind of a quick turnaround, but we gotta holler at some point, either during or after the Worlds. We gotta holler about that.
Yeah, for sure.
But hey, man, I really, really appreciate the time. Keep killing it and doing what you're doing, and hey, make sure you follow this guy and definitely come back soon, my friend.
For sure, man. And listen, man, love your content. I was absolutely happy when you reached out to me. That was crazy. I was like, telling my wife, like, look at this, so that was cool, man. So I appreciate it. And yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing too, dude. And really enjoy it. Really enjoy it. So appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on. Thank you guys for tuning in and everything too.
That is Coach D. Shout out to him. Much appreciated. And shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming in and rocking with me. Shout out to all you guys. Jesse, Lex, Dragoon, Juanita, Foggy, TP, Karen, Lex, Zach, Lex again, Goldilocks, Linda, Roberta, Lex again, tripling up. David, TP coming back, Linda coming back, Lee, Lex killing them. You killing them? Did you kill it? That a fabulous song. Tracy Trey, Nazi, Deshauna, and Queen's mother. I'm so thankful for these 2 young men. Both of them keep us informed and laughing amidst the turmoil. Bless you both. Well, bless you, Queen's mother. Very much appreciated. You guys, that was awesome. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the premiere. Probably looking at the 3-4 o'clock window. I'm looking very forward to this video. I think you'll enjoy it. But in the meantime, shout out to the Mod Squad, Kristen, Moon Princess. I'm not used to them putting these other names out there. I don't like that. But Kristen, Moon Princess, Roberta. Did I miss anybody? Deshauna. And, of course, Miss Ray. As always, coming through. Much appreciated. I will see you guys tomorrow for the premiere. And as we always end, soak your feet.